SVG's Jason Dachman here, another episode of SVG Sports Tech On Demand, and I am joined by Olaf Bahr, co-founder and VP of Marketing at Variant Systems Group. We all know VSG for the Envivo product line. First of all, Olaf, how are you doing? How's your family doing? How's the rest of the VSG team doing in terms of health and safety?
Well, thanks for asking. We're actually doing really, really well. So we're out here on the West Coast, so a little different vibe. Definitely concerned about the East Coast and the rest of the nation. But our team's really, really well. We've all kind of been isolated from the beginning. We work a lot from our independent locations.
Right.
And, so for us, that's kind of how our work has always been managed. The only thing different for us is, we've traded in our leather shoes for our house shoes.
Right. Yeah.
And you tend to work a little bit more.
You do. I know. Hours get extended. I've never
Exactly.
been busier. And yeah, you change you switch the suit for the sweatpants. But
Yeah, exactly.
besides that, you stay at work. So how are you guys, using this quote unquote downtime and, trying to continue to serve customers, advance the product line? What have you guys been up to during these last few weeks?
Right. Well, especially since, obviously not having NAB, which for everybody, it's a big distraction. I mean, as far as you incorporate it into your timeline, what product lines you're going to deliver, what you're going to show that's new. So that can pull you away from your development. So what we've actually done is started to roll things that we were planning to deliver after NAB to bring those back in. Our product line shows off really, really well over the internet anyways, and that's how we've done a majority of our demos at RNet trade shows. Now, given you go to NAB, you see a lot of friends, people that you see in the industry for a really long time. You miss that. You miss that closeness. We really are a big family in the broadcast world. So to not get to see those people on that annual basis or the next trade show, it's kind of difficult to not be able to have that closeness right now, but we know it's temporary. So in this downtime, we've pulled in our deliveries. We've reached out to our customers. We've actually managed to just kind of handle some nice follow-ups that we wanted to do with customers, just making sure that they're running on the right OS or maybe installing some drivers that they normally wouldn't do on their own. So more of just a check-in, how are you doing, and still keeping those lines of communication open with them.
That's great to hear. So as you're talking to your customers and users, look, everyone's having to work remotely, but at the same time, they still have to create content. They still have to, on the sports side, engage fans and such, and likely going to continue with a lot of these remote workflows. So how does Envivo and your guys' product line play into potential remote workflows and remote functionality?
From the beginning that Envivo was created, we already built in the idea of working it remotely. That was one goal that we had always had. And that was customer driven. Definitely the market said, this is what we'd like to have. Engineers as well, they want to be able to remotely access the systems to monitor, to do checks. It definitely helps our service group to be able to get onto a system remotely. But that aside, it's more of the functionality, and that's always been built in the product. We've sat in on quite a few different union meetings to kind of see where is this going? What is the plan of getting back to normal sports? And right now it's kind of a crawl, walk, run process, which is be expecting to embrace no fans, that you might be able to get to the truck outside of the arena, but you can't go in to the arena. They might only let robotics on the floor, maybe an A2. So we're kind of anticipating that. And I think the more drastic step is you allow players to go into the arena and you don't allow anybody to go into the arena, maybe not even the truck. How are they going to handle that? Right. So even for us, we've always had this plan of, well, it's been my dream, 30 years of a replay operator. I always wanted to just kind of maybe sit at home, have a virtual router, and do replays from home. And that's what you can do with our product line already. So I think that's getting higher exposure as we move forward through this. What does the next 18 months look like?
Right, exactly. And I mean, that's the question that, that we're all asking each other. What, in your opinion, what do you think the next 18 months look like? I'm not asking for a crystal ball or anything like that, but, what are some things that people are going to have to keep in mind, and how are you going to try to help your customers account for these, drastic differences once live production starts again?
Right. So there's two scenarios, obviously. One is, hey, sports comes back, and there's this, flood of need and try to recoup some of that lost revenue that comes in. And then the next one is, of course, no, it's skeleton crew and what can you do? And obviously we play great in the first one, but we play equally well in the second version, which would be our operators wouldn't even have to be in the same production room as a producer, director, TD, whichever. They can be off-site. But also for REMIs. And we are seeing that increase in REMI facilities being put in. That's, totally acceptable. But we have to be honest about broadcast production. It's an art form. You can't scale it down to 2 people. It's not a broadcast. You're just, you're doing a Zoom conference, with some players in the background. But that's kind of the look and feel if you start reducing that staff. I want to do a quick little shout out and just thank organizations like Jody Allen and Chris McGowan, Jeff Curtin for the Portland Trail Blazers, Pac-12, CBS, ESPN, Disney, even Paramount DAZN. Like, they're all paying even so there's no play. And I think that's important because they're fully aware that you have a generation, maybe 2, of really skilled technicians that you could lose over this time if you don't preserve their industry. Right. And that they will go find somewhere else to work and something else to do. And that's going to be critical. And that's critical mass going even forward of not having those key operators. And that's also to educate and train other people in those fields. We offer free training on our product lines all the time, every time, as long as you want, as many times as you want. I think that's key. You want to educate the public on your equipment, how to use it and everything else. If it's not free, you're not going to get that many people to show up.
Sure. Yeah.
So I think that needs to kind of cross over in every product area. And again, kind of going back to what the unions are saying, they're telling everybody, hey, now's a perfect time to get cross-trained on something else. You've always wanted to be an A2, maybe do a little bit of lighting or something else. Then by all means, go find that educational course and sign up and get done.
Yeah, use this time wisely, and we do need to take care of the workforce and make sure that they're continuing to develop. So we appreciate that point. Olaf, thanks so much for taking the time. Really, really appreciate it. And please stay safe. Our best to the entire VSG team.
All right, thank you.
For more episodes of SVG Sports Tech On Demand, stay tuned to sportsvideo.org and the SVG YouTube channel.